choice between this or going back to being a slave, then I choose to fight.
What amazes me is how anyone could have that kind of power and yet keep it hidden all this time.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. But whatever happens, I just need a little time.
Okay, so we are going in. I'm a little confused. I thought I was ready to go. That it won't. That's right. It's not letting me warp to here. I had a recharge beacon back here. So you know what? I'm going to give it an attempt. I'm going to give it a college try. We're going to see if I can get through on 17. I may have to use some restock items. I don't know. Like, I could go back and get more. But I'm not a coward. So let's get to it.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past.
Should probably turn that down a bit.
I have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
It is interesting that it's making me go so deep. Oh, wow, there's... Oh, gotcha. Okay, I was like, wow, it's got another one right there. No, I have to go that way first. What happens if I try and ignore it and just go straight through?
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
Okay.
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Because you have a brain?
It's pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Okay, let's find out what this says.
People of Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How did they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Alright, so we do, we do know that this room was involved in creating the Sovereign. Like, this was, one of the rooms that, like, this facility was part of what made Alphen into Alphen. So I'm sure that the big reveal is that obviously the Sovereign is not the ruler of all Dana and the ruler of all Rena. You know, it's someone that is created and whose astral abilities are, like, I don't know about enhanced and maybe just made more aggressive. Because it does seem like all of the lords that we ran into had, you know, just like fire-based abilities, air-based abilities, etc. Although at the same time, Volron did have water-based abilities. So I don't 100% know. Can I not? Thank you. It got me tracked.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see.
Is Alphen in there?
Composite
Is
being
is
capable of
Volron?
controlling Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renin citizens.
Oh, I thought it was based on your astral ability.
It may be that all Renins are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't not read it at this point.
Must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful.
Volron?
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
He doesn't have a last name?
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Oh dear.
Subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name,
Volron?
Volron.
Yep, there we thought.
Volron? But that means...
She's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
No wonder Volron's so obsessed with Alphen.
Crown contests. Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
That certainly makes sense.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
Okay, cool. Give me lore. I love lore.
I'll do that.
I wonder if it'll actually have things to...
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Yeah, a lot of info. First of all, you know I'm watching this.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years.
And Alphen was kept alive for some reason.
Experiment only succeeded twice in all this time. And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could
We don't actually know what the Sovereign is for yet.
Dohalim.
Because they, like, lost Alphen and never went back to get him.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone.
Look, I love Dohalim. Like it makes sense, but also it's just like everyone's like, yeah, we would pull you back. We would go ahead. We would like grab you and bring you to the side and make sure that you weren't going crazy. And then Dohalim was like, and I would listen to you. Okay, so it looks like it's only the 4 terminals around the central terminal and the central terminal itself. Oh wow, there's a lot here. Okay, good. More lore. A device covering the wearer's whole face restricts their mental activity, developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. The applications are also recognized as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. Doing so is not recommended. Prolonged use of the device carries risk of occurring a number of adverse side effects. Addendum. Due to loss protection facilities, occurring the partial destruction of Linagus. Additional devices will no longer be manufactured. So then that was his, the Iron Mask. And why he went ahead and like completely forgot everything about his history. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. This system is unique and it elevates only the Lord as supreme authority, while relegating both Renans and Denans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10-105 serves as the realm's current Lord, has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. So by shared governance, given the method's effectiveness on population control, the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key in this style of rule. Once subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, the effective way to cultivate disposal infantry and slaves for manual labor. And then 2, soldiers of Linagus who have undergone this treatment will be asked for to secure classified sectors as a trial. The result will be monitored. Okay, interesting. So yeah, just how dispassionate the Renans are. They're just like, oh yeah, one of our lords started enslaving our own people. We'll see how effective this is. It is interesting. That does make you wonder what the overall purpose of the crown contest actually is. Is it really just a metric to try and gain astral energy as effectively as possible, and therefore they made them start to compete? Or is it more of a issue of, like they actually are trying to find the most efficient way to get it for future generations? Like, are they trying to adapt, or are they trying to discover? Oh, interesting. It's equipment for storing human bodies. There's held living or dead ones. They're all empty now. Yeah, move. That's interesting in that it did not indicate there was anything over here. It was just I was running around talking to you guys and I found it. Linigus is a large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rinna. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Baden, and Rinna's Alma within the central core of Linigus. We better be careful going to the central fucking core then, because we have, like, all three of those. Well, okay, we don't have the Rinna's Alma, but it's probably here. It's comprised of classified and essential personnel resonance stones under launch conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. Outer layers deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilizing mechanism. This design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to the residential zones. So they did deploy the outer layer at some point. Because it only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony. The original plan to assess said damage is needed. In that phase, Linigus serves as the central base of operations for management and execution of the crown contest on Dana. Interesting. Does that mean they have another maiden and that Volron, or the current sovereign? I still am not sure if Volron is here or not. They made a big point about him not being found. But if Volron is actually doing the spirit channeling ceremony, like right now, or as we arrived, personnel with level 3 authority or lower are strictly forbidden from classified zone. Others will be immediately executed. Massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony serves as the tip of Linigus' conduit. Okay, so yeah, when they sent that down, they started the spirit channeling ceremony. Serves the tip of Linigus' conduit, from which it separates. Upon landing in Dana waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. Vertical pathways connect the center to the center of Dana. Horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. It links the biological spirit of vessels placed in each realm, effectively harvesting the planet's astral energy and mass. Kinetic energy is then transmitted to the Rinna via Linigus. Reduction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone. Linigus' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function as a semi-autonomously. Only maintenance personnel are expected to mainly interface with it when necessary. Attachment 1. Detectable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. That's probably Alphen's memory, where he like slaughtered a whole bunch of people and just brought ruin when he was sent down. Attachment 2 Harvester Land Point remained the same as that of the previous model. The explosion of the previous model, which altered the planet's topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. Okay, real quick, I'm going to run around here, see if there are any extras. And no. Just these 3. Okay, Master Cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these Master Cores, those with the earth, water, fire, and wind of light, are loaned to Rin Lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the Dark Master Cores maintained inside the Forbidden Zone. The one is almost ready to be reformed. Its existence kept up. Yeah, that's why no one knew about it. Although it's surprising no one thought about the fact there's 6 types of astral energy and only 5 Master Cores. At the same time, I think they said darkness does not develop naturally on Linigus or on Dana. So I guess it does make sense that they wouldn't be like, why isn't there a Master Core for this thing that doesn't exist down there? Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. Duration of their tenure, each lord completes the count of contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. During their tenure, that's also interesting. When do they give up their tenure? In event of emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. The extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Renus Alma materializes. The advised active Master Cores may resonate with the other Master Cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Successful regeneration of the Renus Alma, Master Cores will cease to be deployed and the crown contest will be permanently halted. Okay, that just happened. Well, hey, that means we did it. We stopped the crown contest. That was one of our big objectives because it was ruining lives for all the Danans. Spirit cores are in terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout the body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within a range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. It means that Danans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. So that's the reason for the whole slave system. With the difficulty in producing them, the divine spirit cores be retrieved from the host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. That's interesting, because you just said it was difficult. Oh, is that actually why Volron was going around and slaughtering the out-of-control, wild, really powerful Zeugles? Because he was getting the spirit cores back and using them in his own realm? Addendum. Increased physical load on a host body does produce increased astral art emissions. Final confirmation for ideal workload to impose host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Alright, we got Lords and Unique Adjustment. Oh, good, good. This is a Unique Adjustment Index, but that's all it said, and I didn't know what that meant. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they're granted level 3 authority, as well as one of 5 elemental realms to administer, and its corresponding Master Core. They're also assigned ID crest, indicating their designated element. The selection process is based on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude, other variables such as age having no bearing whatsoever, or gender, as we saw. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted that lords are not only individually capable of drawing out their Master Core's power, all Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event the acting lord's incapacity can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. So, even this is still saying that the winner of the crown contest goes on to become the sovereign, which we know isn't 100% true. Following report in the second successful case of sovereign test subject experimentation. Test subject Volron, generation NA, unique adjustment index, ethnicity NA. It is interesting, both of them had no generation and no ethnicity. It possesses high latent potential. They have significant mental instability, along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, risk of it poses surpass even those of the last subject, itself a failure, is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum, this is the first successful case in 300 years. Presumption risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. They are to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and dispatched in Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Is Plan 2 Volron? I mean, is Plan 2 just the experiment, or is it something else involving Volron? Select a topic to explore. The Sovereign acts as Linicus' central control device for a spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted a level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danon subject serves as the base for its creation. In theory, ideal candidate possesses equal affinity to every astral element. Such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment process, and stability is still not guaranteed. So all the failed experiments were just Danons they were slaughtering, trying to see one that would survive? Instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of ancestral manipulation, pose a high risk of the security of Linicus if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternative to the methods for performing the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danon subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. And then the maiden, because the maiden, they said the maiden exists, but I've never gotten a good explanation of what the hell that maiden is. The maiden acts as a sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renin subject serves its functions, providing the sovereign with supplemental dark astral it lacks in tandem with Renin's Alma. During the ceremony, partially responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between the sovereign has been observed to positively impact level stability to both oh my god. That's a little concerning. Okay, so that is why Volron tried to steal Shion? And why she was a little bit weirded out by him? Oh, that's disgusting. And this trial activations of the sovereign without the maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. No instability in the maiden has been deemed to cause the past sovereign rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. So, does that mean that Naori was mentally unstable? No. 2. In line with past plan adjustments, current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Does that mean the current maiden they were thinking about was the one that has an issue with, Dohalim? So yeah, here's Alphen's cell. Wait, did I need life bottles? I have 9 life. I have a suspicion. And then, yeah, I remember this room too. Well, it probably has failure disposal mechanism as well. See a lot of numbers, so the logos align between subjects and Linicus proper. One second. I'm surprised I didn't go back and get extra stuff. I am curious. Let me see this cutscene. Unless it leads straight into a battle. I don't have time for a battle right now. There's that again.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this.
I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Alphen. Farewell. His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Alright. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. I actually thought there'd be a fight in this episode, but there was just a lot of delicious and crunchy plot. You know what? I'm not mad about it. But with that said, I will see y'all next time. Thank you very much for being here. You continue to be awesome, and I appreciate you.